can you take me through the journey of Cargoflash and give me a perspective about how you see the air cargo industry throughout these years?
Very interesting journey so far of over 12 years. It actually started as a process improvement which led for our own internal. We got the GSA for Kingfisher Cargo and they had no IT system to handle the daily 500 departure flights. So we kind of told our internal IT department to fix at least the reservation part. It was a very successful technology that we were able to make in a very short time. And it emboldened our entire confidence in the tech place, and there was a lot of customer appreciation in the way we handled the domestic e-airway bill, the first in India. But then that's where we said that this is a serious activity, and we probably have found a space where the legacy technology companies were not probably able to cope up with the changing needs of the customers and also the changing technology, moving away from mainframes and moving more into real time with web technology. So that's where we started. But going into that journey was not an easy one because air freight an air cargo is a highly process driven, regulated business. It carries people on the same aircraft where there is cargo. So you have to be very sure about your entire technology. You have to build trust with the company. So the first few years was all about going to customers, pitching hard. We went to hundreds of customers, and we had the first customer in AirAsia, Barad, who gave us a chance to believe in our new philosophy of how an air cargo system should be. And that kind of gave us our first customer. Again, I would say that between what we had then and what we have today is a big heaven and earth difference in terms of our technology competence. Well, the journey began there, but until we got Garuda Indonesia, which was a very mature IATA carrier, which had mature other functions like revenue counting, and that was our situation where we actually got a full grip on the business. Garuda came out after doing a lot more accounts and customers in between, and that's how we won them. In terms of the reason that we've been winning customers is that we go ahead and tell them that it's not about just digitization from the way of managing your back-end process. It's also about how it is going to work for you strategically in your environment. So the focus was very bespoke to begin with, and it worked very well for us. That's how Cargoflash got established. And we are now one of the leading IT service providers in the aviation, and our opportunities are only increasing, and the trust has also gone up big time with the customers.
The adoption of digital technologies is one of the most important talking points out there right now. So can you compare the past of how this adoption of digital technologies happened and compare it with how it is in the you are expecting to happen it in the future, or looking at the trends, what is happening right now?
Air cargo has been predominantly developed and matured with its partners. The intermediaries, which we call as either the ground handling agent, the cargo terminal operator, the GSA, the freight forwarder, the custom broker, they've all contributed significantly for the development of the air cargo ecosystem. Digitization is something which is going to challenge the role plays that each such stakeholder is playing. And companies which are investing into digitizing, which is transparently sharing the process with their customers in terms of tracking, tracing, how the business is moving within their ecosystem. And if they start collaborating, and that information is available to the consumer, I see that like other modes of business that have gone, like e-commerce, for example, we see the air cargo ecosystem also changing in the near future, where we're going to have some of the stakeholders taking a huge advantage, especially the forwarders, and who digitize themselves, who use these kind of platforms to engage the customers. And there will be other companies which will not want to change with the times, and they might face different kind of challenges of survival as well.
Let me come to Gautam. Can you give me an idea about the solutions you have? You have two different sets of solutions for the airlines and the ground handlers, for example. Give me an idea about which are the most sought after solutions that you have and what we could expect from you in terms of new solutions.
We have solutions catering to both the ground handlers as well as airlines, and both of them are catered through our seamlessly integrated solutions, which is Engine. The Engine e-commerce can also cater very well to any courier or door delivery company. Now, within these solutions, an airline which only does the airline functions can very well use the system, and an airline which does self-handling or even handling for other airlines, be it from their own SBO or a different profit center, can be managed both together from the same application, ensuring that all the government compliances in place. So that means if they want data privacy between the two companies, it can manage. In terms of sought afterness, we have an equal distribution. Although, if you look at our customer database, so the airlines are higher in number, but these airlines, some of them use both the solutions together, the handling part as well as the reservations are. Even the ULD management, which traditionally has always been an external outsourced application working in silos from the cargo system, is also an embedded solution of engine. So when an airline uses, it practically replaces multiple solutions. So one of the examples, our customers like Kenya Airways or Philippine Airlines, when they migrated, so we migrated total of their four independent systems that includes reservation systems for domestic, international separately, cargo revenue accounting, ULD management, and also the cargo ground handling system. All of them by just one single engine. In addition, we gave them many more solutions on top of that, which they did not had earlier. That includes revenue management solutions for the forecasting of capacities, demands, increasing revenues of the airline. That includes first of its kind target planning system targeted at the cargo business. Right? It manages budgets and the targets at head office level globally, each station level, region level, and even to the end sales team. And all of them are beautifully integrated. It monitors the budgets on a real time, and again it will adjust based on any cancellations or additions of flights. It can also be a lead indicator. If you have a budget defined for one whole year, you can come and check maybe 3 months in between, and the system has built-in algorithms to identify whether the targets which are defined for the complete 12 months can even be achievable or not, so that immediately the corrective actions can be taken. And if it is not being achievable, where it is or which station is at fault. Apart from this target planning system, we are coming up with even further solutions that includes cargo sales automation application, which works in tandem with target planning. Right, so it manages the opportunity management, lead management, the sales teams efforts in going out meeting customers, got lot business, and this got lost business is again a feed to my revenue management solution. We have just about to launch a completely revamped customer portal. So customer portal is again a seamless experience. It is not that there is any data lag. So with the customer portal, all the forwarders of an airline can have their recitation, their contracts, their SLAs, and everything in the application itself. They will have all their independent login IDs, highly secure. And once they log in into the application, they can do very simple 1, 2, 3 process, which we call as a look book go booking, so that they don't have to spend too much time creating a booking. The confirmations are instantaneous. The pricing, the actual net pricing is again instantaneous based on all the contracts that are already predefined. System will ensure that always the right price is offered at the right time. The capacity is real time. They can check the capacities and update that again on the real time. And once a transaction is complete, the financial aspect is also through that customer portal. That means the revenue accounting team no longer requires a tedious process of generation of invoices,
or
drafts,
a
sending drafts,
reconciliation.
yeah, and sending them back to the forwarder. It is all real time
Let,
on the portal.
let me give you a different perspective this entire thing. So across the world, there are about 600-700 airlines, and airlines carry passenger and cargo both. Now there are three kinds of airlines: those who are the early adopters of technology, digitization, who are going to go ahead and spend the top dollars in trying to improve a process and be ahead of everybody. And we're talking about the big names here. But there is a very large proportion of airlines in the middle and the bottom which want to get into the digital framework. If you look at any IATA information about the average system-wide load factor for all airlines put across is not more than 50-55%. So you can see the amount of capacity wastage that goes through these different airlines working. Now, Cargoflash has done something very fantastic for these customers, especially the where they have the aspiration and imagination to digitize it, to digitize that capability. And the new managements and the cargo leadership that's joining these airlines have a very distinct view about being part of the larger cargo capability and capacity to serve global customers. And it's happening especially after the pandemic. So they've seen the value of the cargo revenue, and I'm seeing there is a huge sense of urgency for them to scale up their models towards better, efficient digital processes.
Follow-up question: how do you really make sure that you can improve airlines load factor, for example?
Very strategic. For example, you might have carriers which are combination of wide body and narrow body. So you might have carriers which are only narrow body. You might have carriers which have combination of all three: freighters, belly, narrow body, and wide body passenger capacity. So a lot goes into four principles. First, we try to keep it simple. Second, we try to tell them that the platform that we are building for them should be able to collaborate, and because of, and it should be, the underlying principle should be to digitize the entire process. And this kind of changes their entire perspective about how they can make it easy for their customers. The simple thing of making all the departments work together within cargo, all the sub departments, and be able to have that information enhances the opportunity of innovation, product innovation, between operations, between cargo revenue management, between sales. So they're able to build in new products which give them the strength to progress vis-a-vis, the past where they were not even able to define the product. Then what we do is we follow the four principles of reduce. Anything, try to reduce your one-to-one booking processes, eliminate silos, both on the external and internal side. The moment you have their web page, it's a search, book, look, book, go, as we say. So now customers are now booking online. They don't even have to call. So you'll be surprised, a lot of airlines are still at that process. So they are moving forward very quickly now. And then raise the standards of collaboration efforts with their other stakeholders through APIs. And lastly, create products which can use to make them distinct based on their geographical needs. Like, for example, you want to give the example of Garuda, how we kind of handle their marine insurance and all.
Yeah, indeed. In fact, that's a very interesting module of ours. Traditionally, the air cargo is protected by the standard conditions of the carriage. But in today's time, when almost every e-commerce shipment is a very high value item in relation to the weight, while the standard conditions of the carriage protects the shipper by a very small amount, SDR 20 or 19, something like that, based on the region where you are, and that per kilo is not sufficient enough to protect the shipper with the actual value of the goods. Just imagine a shipment of maybe 10 phones will hardly be of 5 or 10 kilos max, right? But the value it has should be $10,000 or more, depending on each dollar. I can say is the average of $1,000 phone. So how does the shipper gets protected with the conditions of carriage? It's difficult, but at the same time, going for an insurance policy is a very cumbersome process for them. So with Garuda Indonesia partnered with us, we brought a very simple solution wherein our system is talking to an insurance company underwriter. And when I say talking through seamlessly connected API, when the shipper is or the forwarder is creating a real-time booking through the customer portal, the system gives an option whether they want to go for an additional insurance. If they say yes, system will calculate on a real-time insurance premium value. Insurance certificate will be again generated through the connected insurance company and immediately available as a very secure download to the forwarder. Even for the claims, they no longer need to go to the claims department of the airline. They just register their claim through my claim portal, and that claim goes to the insurance company rather to the claims department of an airline. So virtually, we have given an option to take away the claims department entirely for an airline. That's a high cost and a low actual value. And this not only secures the shipper, they are also very happy that they are always able to protect the complete value of their goods.
Gautam, you already mentioned some of your clients here. Can you give me a broader perspective of your clients? Who are they? What they really do? Where they are really distributed? Or what are their real demands coming up actually? Or how often you listen to them and adapt to their needs, for example?
Our customer base are global. It is divided between airlines, ground handlers, cargo ground handlers, and also e-commerce door-to-door courier companies. To name a few, we have Garuda Indonesia, Philippine Airlines, Guinea Airways, which just went live in Africa. In Africa, we have just in the process of implementing at a very small local scale, which is called as a jumbo jet. We have in the Middle East airlines like Air Arabia, cargo ground handle like Sharjah Aviation Services, Salam Air, also again from Middle East. In the Indian region, we have Vistara and Go Air, or which is Go Air Express now. And apart from that, in the European region, we have Swissport, which uses the slot and doors management solution of ours. But today, the technology becomes irrelevant in a very short span of time, within a period of 2 3 years. And if I don't listen to the customer voice and adapt and change my system accordingly, that is one side. And second, also try to understand the pain areas of a customer which even they don't know of today, right? So, and also create a solution for that. So that's our DNA, and we are in a constant process of digital innovation to our application. We do regular health check with our customer. The team ensures to visit them and not only do a verbal communication, but go to the actual user, go to their desk, see what they are performing, and try to understand what are their pain areas and how my system can innovate to address to that pain area, whether it can be eliminated or can be reduced. Right? So that's a process we do.
E-commerce is one of your main focus. Okay, so can you give me an idea about what are the pain points for airlines really dealing with the e-commerce shipments and how you try to solve them?
So yes, we as a solution provider specialize in catering to the e-commerce segment of the aviation business. While the airlines today, they can only focus on the mid mile, which is the airport to airport side, and technically convert the e-commerce into an air cargo, and at the destination try to deliver it as cargo, or the handler has a very tough time, which is a major pain area of converting a large cargo box into the individual shipments. Compliance again is a very major challenge, especially at the time of delivery, because traditionally,
I just want to add one thing because you
yes,
might miss it. On the e-commerce side, we were very early telling the airlines stop measuring the pieces by the number of pieces on an airway bill. Start doing piece level tracking. So we because we could see that in the e-commerce side of the business, it's going to be all piece level. So that those kind of innovations kept coming as we used our experience from e-commerce into also into the airport to airport side. So it became easier for airlines to relate that there can be standardization of this emerging big business which is becoming so big, e-commerce. And you know the interesting thing about e-commerce is a demand business. It's a demand chain business where the technology that backs it has to be very nimble in terms of being able to capture the whole flow of the e-commerce business. Now, what the tech team has done under Gautam has been able to put together the capacity to let these airlines find virtual partnership for doing first and last mile. So there are companies which have spent years into handling and sorting the first and the last mile. And now airlines can actually extend their capacity and capability in the form of products to do the first and the last mile through these partners. So we are making sure that the airlines asset, because their biggest asset is the aircraft, right? So that to make sure that the connections and of products are continue to be asset light.
What do you think is the future for air cargo from a digital technology perspective? What is the level of growth that the digital technology could unlock in air cargo in maybe five
I
or 10
think,
years?
I like I said, it's tremendous, it's huge, it's exponential. What one all the cargo leadership of airlines need to start doing is to think digital. It has to come from there. They need to get out of the comfort zone of looking only at the traditional airport to airport service and look beyond and find buyer utilities into product that will gain immediate attention to a set of buyers now of that service. Now, how do I say that and why do I say that? I say that because pharma is a separate business. We have flowers, which is a separate business. We have perishables like meat and fruits and vegetables, is a separate business. And they're not small businesses anymore. Like if you go to Kenya, for them flowers is big. They want solutions of technology which kind of take care of that. Now, and you don't have flowers out of Delhi to that extent. You probably have it in Bangalore. So every market is unique, and every airline needs to use the digital capacity to be able to build products that support their network and to positions them either at par or better with any larger global network carrier.
There are many digital technology companies out there for air cargo. Okay, what makes Cargoflash really special, or how you perceive that competition with other technology companies, or how you position yourself in that particular market?
I think the biggest thing is that our entire DNA is that I've been a forwarder myself. He's been an airline person, he's done all sides of operations, sales, custom services. So we and the people that we engage are coming from the same background, especially the business analyst team. So they actually know what the business is. They also know the pain points. And what happens is that they are able to work with our customers, understand their entire local challenges, and build a strategy with them. And the Cargoflash's advantage is that the engine is extremely capable to incorporate specific processes which add tremendous value to them. And another interesting thing that we've realized is that the flexibility also works for the airlines big time because aviation business by its nature is extremely sensitive to environment. We've seen what happened with the airlines. There were airlines that we were talking to pre-pandemic, and they had 100 aircraft. Today they are left with only 20, and still they see the reason to work with engine or with Cargoflash products because it has the ability to give them all even solutions even in their revised model. So they don't have to pick up everything that they need to because so earlier, for example, for one of the carriers, they were operating both the wide body and the narrow bodies. Now in a restructured format, the wide bodies are gone. So they don't need a ULD manager. So they don't have to pay for it. Even though that the system has the ability to upgrade itself automatically anytime. So tomorrow if they go ahead and start long haul wide body operations, they just have to upgrade it. So that's how we tend to make sure that the ability for an airline to be in the air cargo digital ecosystem is very, very simple. There should be no barrier, not for them not to be able to participate.
Thank you so much, Jasraj. Thank you so much, Gautam.
Thank you.